If you haven't heard by now, Tom and I are taking part in Sober October again with the help of Whoop. At this point, I've been wearing a Whoop now for, good God, 5 years. I love it. It helps me understand my body in ways I never did before. It is the best fitness tracker with a companion app that I've ever used in my life. It breaks down my sleep, my recovery, and my workouts every morning. The first thing the app does is it breaks down my sleep, along with other key health metrics like resting heart rate, HRV. And based on that, Whoop then gives me a daily recovery score from 0 to 100%. The closest I've ever gotten ever is 99%. I was really proud of that one. It then lets you know how ready your body is to take on the day. Plus, Whoop makes it super easy to see how my sleep, recovery, and workouts stack up compared to my benchmarks. One of the biggest things that sets me back, alcohol. Alcohol is a game changer. Also, I hate to say this, my tour bus sleep is a nightmare. The Whoop team has found that a night of drinking negatively affects your overall recovery by about 12%. When you drink alcohol, your resting heart rate goes up, the quality of your sleep goes down, and every drink lowers your recovery by an additional 4.2%. If we're being honest, the data that Whoop provides really is the key reason I've been able to lower my alcohol intake or even cut it out at certain times, all because I just want to help my recovery. I can see the data to back up how I'm feeling, which makes it easier to reset and a little more rewarding to take booze out of the equation. I got to be dead honest with you. I'm kind of looking forward to Sober October. And so if you want to do it too, now's a chance to join me and Tom and see how cutting out alcohol can improve your health, life, and sleep and more. I genuinely believe this Whoop will help change your life. Go to whoop.com, that's WHOOP.com, and use the code BERT to save 10% off your order today. If you're already on Whoop, you can join the official 2 Bears, 0 Drinks team by joining the team with the code COMM, COMM, dash the number 2 Bears, okay? Go to whoop.com. Hey guys, brand new podcast, and it's a banger. You're going to love this one. I'm super lucky to have gotten this guy. I ran into him in Dallas while I was on the Birdie Boy Relapse tour at the Dickies Arena, and I'm still on tour. That's right. I'm still on tour. Come end September with me in Las Vegas at the theater at the Virgin Hotels. Let's party until midnight because Sober October starts. Winter's coming, boys. Winter's coming. I'm looking forward to Sober October. During October, I'll be in Youngstown, Ohio, Charlottesville, Virginia, Florence, South Carolina, North Charlotte, Charleston, South Carolina, Hartford, Connecticut, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and more. That is my October. Come celebrate with me. There will be great shows. I'm gearing up for my special, which I'm shooting in Omaha on the 15th, 16th, and 17th, I think, of November. So we are fine-tuning these specials. These will be probably the best shows of my year. These are the fun ones. Today's guest is a guy I've been a fan of for a long time. He was on Discovery Channel with Fast and Loud, but I know him best for Gas Monkey Garage. His name's Richard Rollins. I saw him on Rogan's podcast. It was an amazing fucking interview, and I kept thinking, I want to get this guy on, and then he hit me up. He was like, yo, if you ever want a podcast, and I was like, I'm in Dallas next week. So we go to my green room at the Dickies Arena, and we end up having a great conversation. I'm fascinated by this man because he's taken what a few of us have, a few of my friends have had, which is a show on a network that offered you maybe 1 million viewers, and he's turned it into something so much bigger. He's got an extremely successful garage. He's got the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill now. They're opening a new one. His YouTube page is fucking huge. He's doing all the stuff he used to do. Now he's doing it on YouTube, and they're getting millions of views just on their own. He's such an entrepreneur, and I wanted to talk to him about this, and he talks about this a tad bit, about how this was his dream. He tells me about being a cop and getting shot when he was a cop, and we talk about that. We talk about his experience with Hollywood and the people that made the show that brought him all that success and what that process was like. I think they did 19 seasons or 12, 15 seasons or something. We talk about leaving. We talk about me and Tom's next challenge, which is the gumball. Get ready, Tommy. Next 2 Bears, 1 Cave. We are definitely talking about this, but we have a great conversation. We each have a cold beer. It's early in the morning. It is in Dallas, or it's Fort Worth, but He's an awesome fucking dude. Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneur, media personality, all-around superstar, and more importantly, car enthusiast. Badass motherfucker. How you like that, Richard Rawlings? I loved your Rogan appearance.
Yeah.
You were fucking awesome on Rogan.
Look at this thing. It's very intimidating.
Yeah. It's you know what's so funny is we normally have the arms.
This is way bigger.
We normally have the arms and then but we did traveling with them's a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
I like your watch. I think I have the same watch.
Sea Dweller?
Yeah. No, this one's the Submariner, yeah.
Yeah, this is a Sea Dweller,
nice.
so it's like a little thicker.
A little thicker, a little bigger.
Yeah, a little more manly.
A little more manly. I walked in with a watch one time. It was a Rolex, but it was an older one. And the girl goes, "Oh, you wear women's watches?" And I went, "Excuse me?" She goes, "Well, I'm just saying normally men wear bigger watches." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Thanks." And then I ended up buying a new one.
She guilted you right into it.
She guilted me right into it. So you guys are based down here in Fort Worth?
No, Dallas is where we're based out of, but I grew up in Fort Worth here, just about 6 miles that way.
What's it like being growing up living in your hometown that you grew up in and becoming like super, super successful?
I don't know because I don't ever come to Fort Worth anymore. So I'm over there in Dallas with the civilized people. But no, it's been a pretty fantastic journey. And, I started, kind of had a few different phases in life. So I didn't get into the Gas Monkey until 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And,
you were a cop?
I was a police officer and a fireman, and a medic before I was old enough to drink.
Really?
Yeah. So I was literally just about one precinct over this way, carrying a badge and a gun and wearing like a 25-inch Wrangler jean, I was a tiny little dude.
When you see, this is a horrific question to ask you right as we start, but when you see like the police shootings and stuff, is there a part of you that goes like, God damn it, man, I'm so glad I'm out of that fucking position?
I hate to admit it, but I actually did get shot. I took a bullet. I got carjacked about 4 miles from here. I came out of the bar. I went to a bar with my buddy, and I was like 22 at the time, and I was carrying a badge, but I didn't carry my gun when I went out drinking.
Yeah.
I thought it was just dumb.
There's a very good
just
call.
Stupid, right? So, long story short, he got lucky, picked up a chick. He goes with her. I come home. I'm like, shit, I'm hungry. It's 2 a.m. So I go to the local burger joint, and these guys come up. I knew something was wrong when I handed her my money and the window shut and then it clicked lock. So, my theory has always been she was in on it or knew it was happening. Yeah. And I went right for where I keep my gun and it wasn't there. I'm like, fuck. It just took off and they were already firing. So I took a bullet through the shoulder and came out here and kind of ripped my arm all open.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is that when you were like, I'm done with this shit? I'm going to follow my dream.
No, I stayed in for a few more years. It was just I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they never caught him. And it was pretty crazy. But, I only got out of it because it's just the longevity of it. Once you're in, you stay there. And the next thing you know, you're old and you got, a plus size wife and a bass boat. And that's the life, in an easy chair. And that wasn't for me.
That's so fascinating because, there's so many facets of you that blow me away. Number one is you got your show Fast and Loud. You got it. You were the impetus of that. You were like hammering the network going, we should do a show. We should do a show. Correct?
I actually developed Gas Monkey to be a show.
Yeah.
I didn't get into the hot rod industry and making cars and stuff to, and then get discovered. I built Gas Monkey. Basically,
you've built Gas Monkey into a brand that's
to be the brand.
I think it's everything.
I watched what was on TV back in the early 2000s. Everybody knows who they were. And I was laying there, but my wife and kid, my stepson at the time, which is this guy right here behind the camera, they weren't in the room. And so one morning I asked him, I said, why don't you guys watch these shows with me? It's great, man. It's cars, motorcycles, burnouts. And my wife was at the time was like, it's just Machado and everybody's cussing and kicking boxes and being stupid. And got me to thinking about me being a young kid, down the street here. And I was like, God, it wasn't like that as a kid. It was family. And if somebody was working on their hot rod, the kids were running around the yard, mom was making hamburgers, and then I thought about, the shops that I did know about in Fort Worth and Dallas here. And I was like, it's not like that, so they're doing all this stuff, stupid stuff for show. And my business mind kicked in and told me, you know what? They're missing 60% of the market to sell their clothes and wares to, because only the men that are allowed by their wives to wear that shirt can wear it. So I was talking with my wife, and she goes, "Oh, so you think you're just going to sell your company?" Because I owned one at the time, and get on TV and be like those guys. I said, "I'm going to beat them. Watch." And I sold my company like 2 weeks later, and whammo jammo.
That is such a leap of faith. Because I say this whenever I talk to like young kids, and they're like, "What? I'm going to college. What's the secret?" I go, "Have fun, but figure out what you want to do." Like, because if you do what you love, you never feel like you're working. I got really fucking lucky. But I look at a guy like you, and you are. I'm wondering, was that always in you? Because like that is you. I was in that space, the television space, and I watched people come in and kind of flounder, and not really have a direction, and allow the production company to take over. But you came in, and you were your own brand, and you took it to the next level repeatedly over and over again.
I've kind of always been kind of a serial entrepreneur. I stumbled into police and fire because my dad always told me, get a good job, don't work as hard as I do. He always had 3 jobs at a time. I mean, he would work, 3 jobs every day. And he was always, get a good job, with benefits. So for me at 18, I was like, well, I'll be a policeman, and that's kind of what spurred me to leave. I was looking around, and I was always anxious and always wanting to try this new thing. And the old firemen were like, Richard, you're never going to work. It's not, just take your fireman pay and be quiet, And
there's so many people like that around you.
Yeah.
When you're young, to go like, even in comedy, people are like, you're not going to get a sitcom. Just be lucky if you feature act.
Yeah, exactly. So, I've been fortunate enough to be in 3 different industries and built all those companies, sold them. And, now I'm doing what I really love. I was buying and selling cars in high school, even before high school, before I had a license. I remember my dad taking me to go buy cars because one of our jobs at the family, we had a paper route here in Fort Worth. And this is back way before the computer. So there was a morning paper and an evening paper.
Oh, you're my age.
Yeah. I'm 52. So
you're my wife's age.
All right. My dad had a paper route. And so I never got to play from the time I was around 8 until I was 17. We had a paper route for the family and drove all around East Fort Worth. And you had to get up about 2 or 3 in the morning, get in the back seat of the car, no matter the weather, chilly, cold, raining, doesn't matter. Windows are down, rolling the papers, chunking them over to the seats for my dad to chunk out both sides of the car. And then I had to race home after school to do the evening paper, So the cool thing about that was, I was trying to get to that point, was I knew where all the cars were. I was up and down these streets for, twice a day for years and years. So on the weekends, I'd have to ride my bicycle or whatever when I was younger and go collect the $2 and give them their little ticket or $3, whatever it was. And I'd be like, hey, what's up with that Mustang back there? And like, what the fuck you know about my Mustang? And like, I'm some kind of robber or something. I'm like a 12-year-old kid. I'm like, sir, I drive your street twice a day for the last 5 years. I know where every car is.
It hasn't moved.
Yeah. So I bought and sold a lot of cars through those years from like 13 to 18 years old. I've always tried to think about it. And I even drove the old neighborhood one time trying to say how many, but I would say it was in excess of 30 cars, while I was in high school. And so I was just always been a car and motorcycle guy and, what have you. I got my first bike motorcycle when I was like 8, I think. And,
really?
So
I didn't learn to ride motorcycles until later in life. I mean, I rode them, as a kid, we'd get a dirt bike and we'd fuck around. Yeah. But I got my motorcycle license when I was older, and I fucking love riding motorcycles.
I used to until the roads got like they are, and then this stupid cell phone in everybody's hands. It's scary. It's sketchy.
My wife won't let me have a motorcycle because I got one for a split second, and she made me get it back, because it was just. Especially in LA, it's terrifying.
Oh, it's horrible. I don't know how those guys that split the lanes and all that. Bananas.
No. Oh no, insane. I had a paper route when I was in college, and as soon as you said rain or shine,
that was horrible.
I remember waking up and it being ice fucking cold and raining.
Yeah. And
I had to be over there at 4 a.m. to get all the papers and then do my route. And I didn't drink coffee at the time. And I would just, and I remember that it was when the soundtrack for the movie Singles came out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that
I
soundtrack?
remember that show, yeah.
And I would listen to that every morning and do that paper route. And I hadn't thought about doing a paper route in so fucking long.
To this day, the smell of a newspaper just throws me into a tizzy. Just
God.
the smell of a nuspaper. I walk into Barnes and Noble and I can smell the print, and I'm like,
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
You know, it was hellacious. But you know, you find a lot of weird shit out in the world when you're cruising around neighborhoods at 4 a.m. You know,
yeah.
We found guns. We found all kinds of crap in the streets. You know, it's nuts.
Well, I used to deliver papers over in so Tallahassee was Florida State and then FAMU, and the FAMU was the black school,
mm-hmm.
and I would drop papers over there, and there was a great fishmonger over there. And I would find things that you would never have found in Tallahassee if you just went to Florida State. But there was this great fishmonger. I remember my dad came up and he's like, I want to get some salmon. I go, I know some good salmon. I drove my dad out there and he goes, where the fuck are we going? I go, I know this good fish guy. And I knew him because I dropped off papers every morning. I was like, what's up? And he's like, oh, what can I get you? And I got a hookup. My dad's like, buddy, what are you doing? How do you know this guy? Why is we getting fish at a discount? I was like, oh, I deliver papers. And he was like, but yeah, that's so funny.
Well, the worst thing for me that I remember is the shit sneak attacks. You know,
at
4 a.m, there ain't nothing open.
No,
you know?
and my shit would happen at the Capitol building. But that's so funny you say that because you're gonna shit at a certain hour, and I would deliver papers until like 7, 8 in the morning, and I used to have to shit at the same time every time,
almost every time, and
God
there's nothing open. You know, I had the favorite building I'd go behind, or I had the favorite tree I'd go behind. You know, and for some reason my dad never had to. So he would always get all pissed off because he's like, you got to crap again? What the hell's wrong with you? You know, and I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I had dinner last night. I got to get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I think me and you were roughly the same age, and I think we got to know that last generation of man.
Yeah.
I don't think I can pretend to be a man, but I'm not a man. Like, I'm not a man. Like, you're pretty manly. You still know your way around a car. And I was obsessed. Last night I'm laying in bed in my bunk, and I was thinking about, in a weird way, like, you're kind of a historian.
A little bit of that.
Because what you do is you still fuck with cars that almost are almost altogether obsolete.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was when you did Rogan, you talked about a Scout you built.
Oh, the Hell Scout.
And I love Scout. I love Scouts. That was like my car. I thought that was the coolest car you could fucking have.
You should have bought them a long time ago. So they've gone through the roof now.
For real?
Oh my God. They're expensive now.
This is a good looking Scout that you rebuilt. Because I remember listening to you talk on Rogan, and I looked that car up. I probably was late to when you did I probably listened to the episode a couple months later.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it. And then I thought, that car doesn't have Bluetooth. That doesn't have a backup assist. Like all the things that are
airbags. Yeah.
All the things that are happening with cars these days. You're a little bit of a historian where you take things from the past, kind of bring them into the future so that you can kind of celebrate. I mean, I don't think all my daughters will ever learn how to drive a manual car. I don't even you can find them.
Well, yeah, you've seen the shirts that say this is equipped with a millennial theft device, and it's the stick shift.
Yeah. And my youngest doesn't even want to drive. She doesn't want to drive. She goes, I just take Uber everywhere.
Yeah.
It's and my oldest was like, we should get one of those Teslas that drives it. You can self-drive it. It's all the fun out of what was a car.
It is. It's that's what I've tried to instill in the show. And especially with what we do on YouTube now is, this is cool shit, man. I mean, going fast, burning up, doing donuts. I mean, it's cool.
If you can, I would love you to kind of, because I know you're more of an entrepreneur in the sense that you can pick the car that's going to be hot, and you can pick the car that you go, oh, that's the car that we need to rebuild. It's a good buy, and it's a good looking car. Like this, like you were the first generation of getting onto those Scouts.
Yeah.
Like what like the Model T, is it the real hot roddy cars?
That's the Model A and
Model
the
A?
32 Fords and things like that.
What is sexy about those to you?
Really, that's what Gas Monkey cut their teeth on. We've probably owned hundreds of Model A's and 32s and 3s Fords. And for me, that was the birth of hot rodding. Especially when 32, when Ford came out with the V8, and then the guys had to go off to the war. And when they came back, all those cars were like $10. You could buy a 32 Ford, for $10 or, or a Model A for $5. And then you'd swap the motor and throw it in there. And it's when automotive hot rodding to me really, really took off was, about 1930 to 32. Kids were getting them, they're hopping them up, they're racing, they're having fun, And so that's what hooked it for me. And I'm still an early Ford guy. I have, I think, one of each year right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, how many cars do you have?
Well, before Wednesday, I had a considerable amount more. I just sold 28 of my collection at no reserve on Bring a Trailer. And they all went on one day. And we live streamed it and sold them all.
For real?
Yeah, it was really kick-ass. So imagine when you watch some of the auctions that are on TV now, we all know who they are. Well, Bring a Trailer's kind of reinventing the way that you do that. So we sold about 3 million worth of cars. Wow. And if I would have had to load those up on trucks and take them to a big auction in another state and pay the fees to get them in there and then go and get a hotel and, stay there and then bring the ones back that didn't sell, I would have probably lost money on all of it. And instead I made around 26, 27% across the board.
Really?
So, being able to do it online, the cars never left my possession.
Yeah.
They're there. We could talk about it. We had a ton of viewers on it. It was a really kick-ass deal. And I think it's the way that the future is going to be. I'm not against big auctions. I like to go and have fun. For me, it's more camaraderie and running into my buddies and drinking a bunch of beer and doing stupid stuff. But, if you got a collection, this is the way to do it.
That's amazing. Holy cow.
So now I got left probably another 20.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm buying more.
Is it like I'm really into, this is going to sound so stupid. I buy a lot of hats. Like I like hats. And it's kind of fun to go through your collection and get rid of the shit you don't like, you don't wear anymore. Is that what it is with cars? Do you have a hard time getting rid of things?
I really don't, because I'm in the business, so it's like, to me, they're just, everybody always asks me, what's your favorite car?
Yeah.
I'm like, the one that made the most money.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. But, some of the cars I got rid of in this last little deal was, there were a couple that I didn't really want to, but they were the kind of car that was going to gain more hype for the auction itself. So I had to put it in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm going to sell a whole bunch of basketball jerseys, so I got to throw that Jordan one in there.
It's like shaving your pubes to fuck.
Oh, yeah.
You got to bring something flair to the dance.
That's right.
It's funny. I've always been a fan of like 1968 to 72 in Cadillacs. I love the old big Cadillac convertibles. And it wasn't until I met Jay Leno and I did his show and he had one that I realized how problematic those cars
We got that in
are.
common. I did Jay Leno too.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was rad.
Well, I bet mine was worse. He locked me in a trunk. and he was like, oh, this is the first, he's like, what's interesting about this car, Bert, is this is the first electric trunk where you close it and then it would seal down.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, but they've been known to have some problems with them because they're old, but get in the trunk anyway. And I got in the trunk and I had the biggest fucking panic attack.
Oh, yeah, claustrophobic.
Oh, my, claustrophobic as shit.
I could be that way.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny.
I used to not be, but in my older age, I've gotten that way.
Oh, dude.
They strapped me in to drive a monster truck about 3 years ago. I went to the Monster Truck University to learn how to drive on this. And they, not only are you in all your gear and you're in all the thing and you're in the cage, but they also attach your head with the helmet. And I mean, that's exactly
my God.
I'm like, hey guys, I can't get to my Xanax in my pocket. Could somebody get me one of those really quick?
I did a top fuel dragster.
Yeah, I've done that.
But I rode. I didn't drive. And
yeah, same.
They put you in the thing. They put you in the harness, and then they tied your hands to your chest so you couldn't reach anything.
Well, you don't flail around. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they put me in, and they're like, all right, we're gonna get everyone set up, and I was like, I'm already strapped in, and I was like, hey guys, I need to be undone. I need to be undone.
I've been there.
Do me last. Those things can freak you out. I can't do roller coasters anymore. I used to do a TV show about roller coasters. I did for Travel Channel.
I wouldn't know. I haven't ridden a roller coaster in probably 20 years or more.
Some of them are fucking insane. Like they've got drop rides that'll like make you question your religion. Like and then they've got those launch, like they've actually got one called Top Fuel Dragster at Cedar Point. I think they're retiring it. And you take off like a bat out of hell, fly up 480 feet, drop back down. I mean, it really is intense. I did that for a fucking living. When you were finding all your success on television, I was kind of flailing on Travel Channel and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I did every fucking show ever, but I don't, what was great about your show is it was just your personality. It was you.
Thank you. I mean, that was one thing that I wanted to make sure happened. And I don't think Fast and Loud would have lasted that like it did, almost 10 years.
What'd you do? Like 20 episodes, 20 seasons?
I think it was 16 or 17 seasons, but it was with the other shows that we spun off, Misfit Garage, Demolition Theater, and Garage Rehab, we made a little over 400 episodes of television in those years. And they worked me to the bone. But back to this, I think the reason of success was I wouldn't let them input drama. They wanted to come in because they wanted to repeat what they thought was magic. And I said, we're not doing that. We're not yelling, screaming at each other. We're not kicking boxes. The car will present its own problems, and you'll have some drama, and you'll have some things that people get hurt or people get pissed off at the situation or whatever. I said, but we're not doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Because my thing at the time was the first second that I look like Orange County Choppers, arguing with somebody, then I'm done. That's the way down.
Well, that was what was so fascinating about your show is that it wasn't a remake of a previous show.
Mm-hmm.
It was authentically you, and I think that's why I know for a fact. It's why when I heard you opened, I remember being in Texas when I heard you opened your bar.
Yeah,
and I remember thinking, cool, as opposed to because it was so authentically you.
Mm-hmm.
It was how you presented yourself, and you never seemed like someone that was like. And this is the cool thing is you never presented yourself as someone like. No offense to Jesse James. I'm sure he's a very sweet guy, but he always like reluctantly was a celebrity. And I don't want to be there. And then, but Barty was watching that going like, then why the fuck are you there?
Exactly.
If you're an outlaw, then fucking be an outlaw and don't make a television show. But you were like, no, I'm here. I'm in it. This is what we do. It's cool. It's fun. This is my life. I'm letting you in on it. And by the way, I got bigger plans. And that is the part about you that really fascinates me because I have a very similar brain. In comedy, it's very, it's not sexy to succeed. It's in a weird way because the majority of us spend so much time flailing. Sometimes to be ambitious is frowned upon.
Yeah,
and your ambition.
I got some of that
really
from a lot of people. I mean, especially in the early days before I had the show, because I'm rolling around telling people, I got the big show truck. I've got cars being built, getting in magazines. I'm trying to get my street cred. I'm trying to get to a point where I can start pitching the show. And, the guys at the shows and stuff would be like, oh, that guy's an asshole. Or, he's just a pompous, whatever. And you'll never make it. I don't know why you tell everybody you're going to have a show. You're not going to be anything and all this. And, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Watch,
Yeah.
I mean, even, now I have them come up to me and they're like, I remember, you from like 2005 coming in saying you were going to have a show and all this. And me and my friends thought you were full of shit, I'm like, yeah, well, if you put your mind to it and you stick to it, that was the reason for the success was they came in, they wanted drama. They wanted me to do this. They wanted me to do that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So they tried to hold the money. They were like, well, yeah, but we're giving you this much money for the show. And I was like, well, that is fine, but you can keep it because I'm not building a show. I'm building a freaking brand with many verticals. So I'm not taking your money so you can tell me what the fuck I do. You just keep your money.
There's a humility in saying what you want. Like people think humility is to just shut up and sit in the background and don't be humble, but there's a humbleness in saying, this is what I want. I'm putting everything out there. I want to build a brand. I want a TV show. I want it to be bigger than.
I want restaurants. I want tequila. I want,
I want to be Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, I want it all.
Yeah, I want to be Jimmy Buffett. I love that Jimmy Buffett is, first of all, one of the coolest dudes in the fucking world. But I love that he's like, yeah, Margaritaville. Let's have a margarita.
Yeah.
There's a fucking.
That's right. I want to be Richard. I brought some beer here.
Yeah, let's crack a beer.
I can't do it with the mic in my hand and everything else. But that was the trick.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers, sir. Can't believe I lasted this long without one, and it's only noon.
I know.
Right on.
I literally said
that's like the best sound. I like to think that's the sound that baby Jesus made when he came out.
I have so many jokes about that sound. It sounds like the beer's whispering to you to tell you a secret. Today's gonna be the best night You should take your dick out. Psst.
So, I didn't take their money, and they were mesmerized by it. And I said, guys, they said, well, you have to, and you got to do this. I said, no, I don't. I said, y'all can leave, and this can be over with right now. I said, this will not fail because I listened to y'all. If this fails because I did what I wanted to, I can take that heat. But if it fails because y'all, wearing khaki pants and driving Priuses in California, telling me what to do in Texas, I said, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Well, that's the big problem is people want to give you, if they don't have a job if they don't give you their 2 cents.
Yeah. And then 2 years later, it's a massive success and they're geniuses. Look at what we did. I'm like, you guys didn't do fucking anything.
What did you sell? When did you sell it on a pitch or did you shoot
I shot my own sizzle reels and
really?
Then shot it again. I get some feedback.
Are those online?
I don't know. Can you see it? No, they're pretty good. Because the show was also at the time was a little bit more of getting out of the shop than we actually did. I mean, we got out and we'd buy cars, but what I wanted to show was the chaos that ensues when we're out in the town, or out in some, BFE town in the middle of nowhere. And, we're picking up a car and then we hit the bar and raise hell, and then go home the next day. And we just didn't have enough time in the hour to show a lot of that, or pick up a lot of history in the towns we're in. So we focused on the cars and what have you. But we're now doing a lot more of that on our YouTube. And we've got so much going on. I mean, we've actually grown substantially since we left Discovery in 19.
Well, I would imagine so.
We're better. Our YouTube's better. People like it better than the show. We've got like 27 million followers now. And
shit.
We've got fans all over the world. And because of the show, we're still the number one automotive motorcycle lifestyle show in the world.
Holy
we still
shit.
are. And what have you? Sorry.
That's okay. So that's the thing. I was like, I know for a fact once I left travel, I became authentically myself, no notes. And I got obviously
so much better. Yeah.
It's so much better.
They would come to me with the notes, the OTFs, and here, say this, because they'll take the show that you went and filmed and then they'd turn it into whatever turd they want to turn it into because they've already figured out how the show's going to work. And then they hand you notes to say, well, you got to say that. Why do I got to say that? That doesn't make any sense.
Connects tissue.
It connects it.
Yeah.
It connects it. I'm like, well, you didn't film what the hell I did then.
Yeah.
Or you're not playing with the right section.
Yeah. Everyone knows I'm a tobacco guy. I'm a huge tobacco guy. I'm a cigar guy. I bought a pack of cigarettes. Dropping my daughter off for school. It was a rough one. You know what I wanted was my Black Buffalo Zero. There is nothing more enjoyable. Listen, if you're a tobacco person, if you chew, dip, or use those pouches, long cuts, you have to try this tobacco alternative, Black Buffalo Zero. It is everything you love about dipping, just without the actual tobacco leaf, stem, or nicotine. It is dip, literally made from edible green leaves and food-grade ingredients with the same flavors, textures, aroma, and pack as traditional tobacco products. My mouth is watering as we read this. No compromise required. They have all the flavors like mint, wintergreen, straight peach, even blood orange, and they sell their products at blackbuffalo.com. Black Buffalo Zero is available in both long cut and pouches, but if you're still seeking that little calming feeling with your dip, you can check out the regular product as well. They also have a subscription option on their core flavors, so you can set it and forget it. Born in the Midwest, raised in the South, Black Buffalo proudly manufactures their products here in the U.S. Their founders were looking high and low for tobacco alternatives across the U.S. and even overseas, but nothing delivered the same satisfaction or high quality they were looking for. So they decided, let's make our own, and let's make it in small batches. Plus, they're made in limited quantity, small batches run, so you can count on the best quality from Black Buffalo. We take it on the road with us. Black Buffalo Zero is my jam. If I go to their regular product line, I am done skis because I enjoy it so much. There's nothing better than a dip and a conversation at the end of a night. It's 2022. Are you still dripping traditional tobacco or those white portion things? If so, and you're 21, it's time to get with Black Buffalo Zero. It's everything you love about dipping, just without the actual tobacco leaf, stem, or nicotine. Head to blackbuffalo.com and use the promo code BERT at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use my code BERT for 15% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code BERT for 15% off your order. Today's episode is brought to you by True Classic. Let me tell you about these fucking shirts. So I get my True Classic shirts. Now, I'm pretty particular about what shirts I wear. These shirts fit awesome. I felt so jacked. I don't know if this is in the read, and I don't know if they do this on purpose, but I felt so jacked. It made me feel like it was a tighter fit in the chest and in the arms, and I just looked awesome. I put them on with a pair of jeans, and it's a good-looking shirt. It's a plain. The one I had was green. Plain green shirt. I put it on. I come out, and I go, how do I look? And Leanne goes, have you been working out? And I go, no, it's the shirt. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on a certain body type. Think of those skinny models with six packs, but most of us aren't packing anything but a few beers. Damn it. I tried their product and I fell in love with it, not knowing they had manufactured their product for me. I was sitting there going, I look good in this shirt. They did that on purpose. And then I was doing a read and not even realizing if you look like me, you got to get one of these shirts. So many times I take a shirt and I open it up with my arms, and then I step on it and pull it. And that's how I get a shirt to fit. You don't want to ruin the arms, because the arms are what makes you look good in a shirt. These tees taper towards the bottom, but they fit tight around the chest and shoulders, so you can throw on that True Classic with confidence, because they know you've got your base covered. They're more than just a t-shirt company. They have menswear staples you can find. I'm going to try everything. I did not know that. They've got polos, workout shirts with the same flattering fit, boxer briefs designed to keep your boys feeling nice and comfortable, and they make everything super easy to build out your wardrobe. You get top-notch quality for great value. They have this great pack builder on their site, so you can custom bundle all their essential products and even save more than the discounted that we're offering you today. And for the big guys out there, they have longer body options for tall guys on their triple XL of their staple colors. They make you feel your best by accentuating the places that your eye goes first. Wink, wink. Whether you have abs or flabs, I'll take the latter. Their clothes look great on all body types. Skinny dudes, big dudes, buff dudes, my dudes. True Classic has you covered. Get comfortable, get going, and upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com with the code BERT. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. 100% risk-free, guaranteed, with a 30-day return policy. True Classic. When you look good, you feel good. I did a thing in Action Park. Action Park is one of the most dangerous amusement parks in the world. They call it Class Action Park. It's in New Jersey. There's a documentary about it. And I went and did an episode there, and I went off a fucking 30-foot slide up in the air, landed on my testicle, and blew out my testicle. In the most...
I don't even want to hear anybody say that. That hurts.
In the most notoriously dangerous action water park in the world. And I was like, that's the story. And then I couldn't see my ball because I'm so fat, so I couldn't see it. So I had to hold the monitor and have my cameraman shoot my testicle so I could see my testicle. And that's the way I saw it for the first time, is holding a monitor naked in a room with my cameraman. And then Action Park was like, we need to have our head of whatchamacallit come and look at it, which is a 16-year-old girls. It's a water park. They're children. They work there. I said, I'm not going to let children look at my testicles. And this girl, maybe not the most friendly chick, kind of a little bitchy, but also a kid. Sir, I'm going to need to see it. And I was like, I'm not showing you my dick and balls. I'm a grown man. She goes, sir, this is my job. I will be seeing it. And I go, everyone film all of this, because I will not go down for showing my balls to a 16-year-old kid. She goes, sir, film what you need, but I will be looking at it. Now, this girl has never seen a guy naked. And I'm thinking, this is the fucking show, right? She comes in, I hide everything and show her just the one testicle that has exploded and blown up. And it was huge, the size of a lemon. And she just went, oh my God, you need to go to the doctor, and ran out of the room. And I go, that's the show. Never put it in. Put it in. And you're like, why would you? And they're like, oh, it's just not brand friendly. It's not what we want to be. And I was like, yeah, but that is, man, remember when I blew out my testicle? Yeah. He was the one that shot it.
Yeah, I literally have real pain right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just thinking about it. But we had some of the same things, and then at one point I was running 4 shows at the same time.
God.
And I worked like a dog because I had a bigger plan. I wasn't just this guy that was like, oh, I got a TV show, man. I'm going to be cool now. I was freaking out at, I'm opening bars and restaurants. I'm launching tequilas, launching energy drinks. I'm, building the brand and licensing all over the world. And, and then I'm making these 4 shows all at one time. And it was crazy because I'd be like, I'd show up to set or where we were at, whatever garage, because we had different garages. And I'd be like, what show is this? And what did we talk about last time we were here? What's going on? And so they beat me down. It just about killed me. I think I left the set twice in an ambulance.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And so I'm in a hospital, thinking I'm having a heart attack, and they're wondering when I'm getting back to work. Not even a fucking card or a set of flowers. The Hollywood machine, as it is the worst group of people I've ever known in my life. I mean, the absolute worst kind of human beings. They can't even allow themselves to have empathy for somebody, because that's it. That in their mind is accepting responsibility for the situation, and then they're fucked. So literally, if something happens, we had a big freaking deal in a hotel where everybody got loaded, and we busted one of the fire sprinkler things and flooding the rooms, and and all this. They just didn't even respond. They were like, they're contract workers. The hotel's calling the Hollywood and everything, and they're all going, we have no idea. There was a contract workers. We don't know. They're your problem.
That's crazy. What was it tough for you as someone who already ran a successful business to go in and you're a numbers guy? Like you're a buy it for this, build it for this, sell it for this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to say at one point, what are we making this show for? Where's the money going?
I was upside down to the tune of about 5 times everything I owned before it finally flipped.
Really?
But I mean, I just kept pushing. But, I went broke twice, sleeping on my sister's couch type broke, trying to get to getting a show.
Yeah.
And then when I got the show, the expenses and everything that I was trying to do, and then the growth and the keeping up with, 100,000 t-shirt orders and 500,000 t-shirt orders and, all that. I mean, I was scared to death there for a while that it's like, yeah, it looks like a great success, but I don't have any fucking money, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then it finally turned around, and everything kind of got on a good even kill, and the sponsorships and endorsements and all that stuff started rolling.
What does your team look like? Like, I'm curious. Like, you guys are everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you have a business manager that brings you deals? Do you have an agent? You seem like such a mom and pop.
I don't do any of that. I did an agent and manager and lawyer in Hollywood for a few years, and to tell you the truth, it just didn't work. I like the guys that I worked with, so I'm not going to talk shit on them, but I'll just say the system itself sucked. So I had an agent that was at CAA. I'm with the big guys, right? They brought me one fucking deal. Out of all the deals I did, they brought me one, and so I was always closing all my own deals anyways, and then having to turn over and give it to them and give the 10% to them, and the 10% to the manager, and the 5% to the lawyer. Finally, one day I said, I'm just out, and, full disclaimer, I'm not talking shit on any of my team. It was the machine they were in, it just sucked.
Well, I have a
so
saying.
I do it all myself now.
I have a saying about, and I've said it, it's kind of a mean saying, but it's a frustrated saying. I pay for a lot of BMWs. Like my business pays for a lot of BMWs. And my question is always, do you earn your BMW? Like, did you earn your BMW? I love good sayings. My wife's good at that. But did you earn your BMW payment? Like, did you do the work to get that BMW payment today?
No.
And that's the question you got to ask. Sometimes you're like, this guy's just driving a BMW and he's not doing fucking shit.
Well, not only that, there was a situation with Discovery and the production company, and I was really heated, and I wanted out. I was done. I tried to get away from the whole cable thing for 2 years before I finally got away.
Yeah.
And because it was just so horrible, and the machine was horrible, the people were horrible, and what have you. That I pushed real hard, and one of my team, the California team, says, I can't do any more for you. I said, You're the one that's supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'd be jeopardizing my relationship with these people. He goes, and then that'd fuck with my job. And I'm like, well, great. So you're supposed to protect me and help me, and you just you can't,
Oh my God.
And he and I are still friends to this day, because it was, like I said, it's the freaking machine. They just eat up and use people. And I'm sure you've seen some of this where you signed a contract and you come back later and go, what the fuck did I do? These people were that whole machine was fucking eating me alive before they ever even knew my name. And when I signed that first document, dude, it didn't matter if I had a few shows and I failed or it didn't, it just didn't work out. But boy, if I got successful, the teeth came out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's I remember watching contracts. I remember watching people sign contracts, other talent, and we'd talk at the thing and you'd find out what their contract was. I remember that very specifically because I had done television before, so I knew what I wanted my per episode to be. Because I was like, this is what I get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some people that would come in and had never done television. There's one young lady, I remember talking to a cameraman, and he was like, you know, she gets paid, and he told me, and he was getting paid more as a cameraman as she was talent.
Yeah,
and
I've seen it.
Like, what the fuck?
They negotiate it all out. They try to get you scared. Well, you got to wait till it's successful, and all this. And I just went in blind because that was my nick. I almost turned it down because I'd gotten so far. It was, the company was 8.5 years old. I'd done everything I could do, and I was pushing hard. And I kind of just went, and I kind of stepped back for a second, and I was thinking about, like, I tried, I gave my best shot. And then the call came through, and 6 episodes. And my wife and I at the time were building another company in the home healthcare field, and we were doing good, and it was doing good. And so I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do it. I said, and she's like, you have to, you have to. If you don't, you'll always wonder what happened.
Yeah.
And so I said,
by the way, thank God you listened to that.
Yeah, I know, man, because I usually don't listen to my wives. But
that's great. I love that it's a plural. Yeah.
But, I said, if I do, I'm going all in, balls deep. I'm just doing it. And she goes, go. And so, there we are. And off we went.
So what did the orders look like when they'd order episodes? They ordered 6 initially?
They ordered 6 before they even aired one. I think we were filming the 3rd, and they haven't aired any yet. They ordered 12. And by the time the first season had played, they ordered 25.
Whoa.
And then it was just a rocket ship. They were ordering usually at about 30, 36 at a time. And then they got that tail on you, like, and we have options, And so it got to the point where I didn't want to give them any options, but they wanted more shows. And I'm like, I'll give you another set of shows, but you're not going to hook me into the option. They're like, well, we can't do that. And I'm like, I don't want to work with you people.
Yeah.
I can do better, and they got me good on this one. All media. They owned me in all media. Social media as we know it and the computers as we know it didn't exist back then at all. So when it started existing, I'm like, kick ass. This is more for me to get out to my watchers and the people that love us. And they shut me down. I got several certified lawyer letters, saying you can't do that. You can't be on YouTube. You can't be on here doing that. I'm like, guys, this legitimizes me as a real business, not just a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's good for our brands and it's good for you and makes more people walk. And they're like, no, we own you.
It's, I remember that. So in my contract, I had carved that out only because I was a stand-up first and I owned my likeness. I owned the brand of Bert and I could market Bert separately. And I don't think they ever expected any success. By the way, the people at Travel Channel, I was such a failure there that I can only say they were on my team because they kept giving me shows and they all sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched guys like you or Adam Richman or Guy Fieri or that, we were too different at the time. We were 2 different companies. Discovery used to own Travel Channel and food and all that. And then Scripps was where we worked.
Yep.
And I watched you guys blow up and I remember being like, I wish I could just do something that was like me, like authentically me. And then when I told them, they're like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to do like what Bourdain did. I remember one of the guys at the network was like, buddy, can I be very blunt with you? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you are no Anthony Bourdain. You will never be as big as Anthony Bourdain. Just be lucky you have a job. And I was like, well, that's
the kind of people I say, get out of my fucking face.
That's not what, I was like, that's not what I want to hear at all. And I mean, I've had people say things to me where you hear them and you're like, I think I'm done working with this person. I had a manager once tell me, when's my turn to get famous? That's what a manager said to me. And I went, I don't think you're supposed to be famous. I think you're supposed to be a manager.
Behind the curtain, in front of the curtain.
Yeah,
it's 2 different things.
So wait, are we competing for careers here? Is it you and me on the same fucking stage? That is frustrating. That is, I can only imagine. Did you ever get the upper hand on them in any capacity financially or with any deal? Like, was there? Because I know that some guys I shouldn't say names. I won't. I was going to say Adam Richmond. I'm not going to use Adam Richmond. Some guys like Guy Fieri right now has the upper hand on Food Network.
Oh, he crushed him. He was in the right place. They bought scripts without negotiating with him first, and they had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so no. The answer to that is no. I did not ever get the upper hand with them until the very, very end, and that was a big battle. But
really?
Yeah, I'm kind of locked under seal on that, but it was a battle, and I whooped their fucking ass.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever hung out with Guy Fieri?
Yeah, he's a cool cat.
He's fucking really cool, dude.
Yeah, I went up to his 50th birthday in San Francisco here a couple of years ago.
Oh, because he's a car guy too.
Oh yeah. Do you know that all his car collection is yellow?
No.
Yeah, he has all yellow cars and trucks.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yellow.
Holy shit.
I don't know how I feel about that. I even told him that. I said, I don't know how I feel about it being all yellow.
Well, the Kardashians are all like matte gray. Like they all have their cars match their house. And it's the reason Ferrari, and this is what I love about Ferrari. Ferrari won't sell them a Ferrari because they know they'll change the color. So they don't sell them a Ferrari.
They shouldn't. I mean, I guess everybody's into their own expression, but for me, the matchy and the Kardashian thing, I don't know. It is what it is. If I was there, I wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money. Yeah. I
actually met Kris Jenner a while back in Cabo, and she was very different than she is in the show. She was very quiet, very standoffish, very bigger. I'm better than all of you people. I'm better.
I met Caitlyn. I worked with Caitlyn Jenner, and she was fucking awesome.
I can imagine she's still a young girl and having fun and enjoying life.
Oh no! Caitlyn's the.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot.
She's definitely not a young girl. I think she's 76.
Okay, I was getting confused with the young one. Is it Kendall?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's Kendall's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kendall.
And then the one that's a model is Kylie.
Maybe Kylie's
the model.
Would it have killed them to just name them different letters so that we could fucking pick them apart? Like I feel like I'm watching Lord of the Rings. I could never get anyone's name. They're like Goldorf.
I got a great Kardashian joke, but I can't tell it on air, so I'll have to tell it when we're off.
Please tell me off.
Oh, it's freaking great.
Yeah, I hung out with Caitlyn, the older mom.
Yes. Yeah. That bitch can run.
That motherfucker gets competitive too.
Oh yeah.
Like you forget, there's a champion inside there. There's a legit champion inside there. We were competing. We were throwing axes, and I was fucking winning. And all of a sudden, you could see. I don't know the right way. I almost killed her too. I threw an axe up in the air and it landed by her foot, and it like almost hit her. And you could see her like bro out, if dare I say?
Yeah, I get it.
You can't bro out for a second and be like, "What the fuck?" And you were like, "Whoa." I don't know. I forget I'm fucking with a champion here. What do you think about like if when you? I was gonna toy with the idea of getting a luxury sports car.
Okay.
What? If you could walk me through what your opinions of them are. Like Ferrari is the one.
Well, that's a sports car. There's no luxury for Ferrari. I mean, it is luxury because it's Ferrari, but there's a different way of looking at it. Is it a car that you want to go cruise the California coast in?
Yes.
Do you want to be able to pile your kids in it?
No.
Okay,
fuck my kids.
So then lose the word luxury and replace that with really fucking expensive.
Okay.
And what have you. I at my heart am a front engine V12 guy. I'm very, very upset that Ferrari's fixing to quit making the front engine V12s. I think the 812 GTS is the last one. My buddy just got one in Dallas, and it is just such a pitching cool car and front engine V12. This is all mid-engine stuff. I used to say if your engine's in the back, you probably have a contract. If your engine's in the front, you got money. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. But for a touring car and cruising around California, obviously you want a convertible.
Yeah.
And what have you. So if you could get one, I'd get the 812 GTS. But if not, is it 812 or F12? Whatever. This is the latest GTS. And
I'll show you the ones that
Porsche makes a phenomenal vehicle now. Porsche is just on fire. And
Yeah, well, my buddy, I don't know if you know who Tom Segura is, but he's obsessed with Porsches. That's all he drives, and he's got a ton of them. And I can't really tell this story. I can tell it a little bit, but he got one that was like a fucking year wait, like a long one, and it did not come in the specifications he had wanted, and it fucking sent him through the roof. And these cars are like cars that you buy them, and I think you have to hold on to them for a period of time.
A lot of companies now are making you do 2-year contracts.
Really?
Yeah, but I know the way around it.
What's that?
We'll tell you off air.
Yeah.
But I can show you how to do that real quick. But yeah, they do make you sign 2-year contracts. But the Ferrari is a great car. The nothing beats a convertible 911 turbo. I mean, it's just such a bitching car to drive. Really? And they're big, they're bulky. They feel good. And Mercedes, they're right now, I don't think they're on the top of their game with a GT, a Grand Touring type car. And then Lamborghini to me is just flash. It's an uncomfortable car to drive. I've had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You can't see out the windows. You can't see to back up. It's just a Batmobile looking crazy thing.
And I never understood the paddle drivers.
It's just paddle shifting. You don't even have to do it.
Yeah, because it does it without it, right?
It does it without it, yeah. And if you really know how to drive one, it's good. But 99% of the people that get those cars don't really know how to do it, so they end up just fucking up the transmission.
Yeah,
and then they're back in there getting with the bill.
I drove a Lamborghini in Mexico. You could rent them and drive them down the streets, and it was fun. And they let you on a track. I've never
in Mexico. They're renting Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Are you sure they're not Volkswagens with like a body kit?
It's a fucking Lamborghini. It was. We did it for Travel Channel, and it was. I used to take people on vacations of a lifetime, and this guy's dream car was a Mercedes Gullwing. Is that the right thing that I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great.
And so he, so we got him on the track, and we had a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, and then we also had this Gullwing. And the Lamborghini was funny. The Lamborghini
was it a new Gullwing, like an SLR? Or?
I think so.
So it's a modern car.
Yeah, modern car. And he it made his day. But I had so much fun in the Lamborghini. But I mean, I was never a car guy. I could appreciate a car, but I think because I'm weird with spending money. I have a hard time spending money. I could never, like my buddy Tom Segura will go and he'll do one show and then he'll just go buy a new Porsche with that money. Like he'll just be like,
I need to get into comedy.
Business is a banging right now.
Yeah.
Or podcasting. Have you thought about doing a podcast?
We've done a few. We haven't really found our niche yet, to do this. People, they've trained for 20 years to watch me go do, not sit and talk about it. So they're kind of weird. They're like, man, wait a second. He's not out there in the field and stuff like that. So we haven't found our niche for a podcast yet, but we got a few ideas.
Because that's, especially, automotive. I know, Matt Farah. Do you know him?
Who?
Do you know him?
Yeah.
Well, he has a car podcast. But
a what?
Car podcast. But I think you're fun. You're fun to listen to talk. Like your party stories are as fun as your knowledge of cars and your knowledge of the business. But more importantly, I see you as a guy who just builds out so much quicker. Your brain's an entrepreneurial brain. I think that's there's a little bit of I'm trying to think of the right guy to mention, like
it's not Matt Farah.
It's not apparently. But yeah, I would be fascinated to hear that you talk about just you and Rogan talking about the fucking Chevals. Is it the Cheval? The Chevelle.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I gotta Google one, and then I Googled one. I was like, that's a badass fucking car.
Yeah, those are cool.
And that's half of what podcast for me is learning, is like listening and learning and going, oh, that is a bit like the fucking Scout. I Googled that Scout, and then I was like, God damn it, I need to get Scout. Then I started getting onto the Ford Broncos. I was like, shit. And then I started following these people that are doing vintage Ford Broncos.
Oh, it's insane.
Oh,
you're getting $300,000 for those things.
Yeah.
Actually, Rogan has one. He pulled up in it. I was like, dude, that's pretty badass, man. He goes, oh, yeah, so-and-so gave it to me and all. I'm like, that's a $300,000 truck. He goes, yeah, they like me. I'm like, if anybody out there wants to give me a $300,000 ride, I'm I'm your man.
Oh, tell me. I got my buddy Carlos Miller's a comic, and he deals with cars a lot. Like he's but he more like, I think more like donks and stuff.
I got a few of those.
Yeah, and he just sent me one today of, it's always Cadillacs. He's like, how about this one?
I raced a donk. I did a 4-door Caprice about 2005 maybe, and you know the Gumball 3000 rally and the Bull Run rallies and all this. I've won all those rallies.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. Keep going. Though.
So and I always build something different because any asshole can show up with a Ferrari. All right.
Yeah.
So I always show up with something that's just off the wall. So back then, all the videos and stuff that were circulating, everybody's in these donks, and so I put a whole Cadillac Escalade inside a 4-door 76 pea green Chevrolet Caprice. Like I'm talking like grandma's go to the church car, and I put it up on 24s, and that damn thing would run like a scalded dog. So I show up, and everybody's laughing. I'm in a 4-door Caprice. It's just all lifted on stupid wheels and all this, and then we're going down the freeway, and I just fly past a guy in like a Ferrari or something doing about 180, and he's like, "What the hell?"
Holy shit!
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun doing that stuff.
How do those work? Those gumballs? You've done the Cannonball Run, right?
I had the Cannonball world record. That's it, 31:59. We did that back in 2007 on Mother's Day weekend, and we were the first ones to break the actual record since 1979.
So funny. I always thought the Cannonball Run I thought it was just a movie.
No, Cannonball Run was a movie based on an actual movement that was back in the 70s of against the man and the 55 mile an hour speed limit and, gas prices and all that kind of stuff. So Hal Needham and all his buddies did that shit. And then they said, well, let's make a movie out of it. So they got everything together and made the movie. And
that's so crazy.
It's been broken a few times since it didn't get broken for about 5 to maybe 6 years. And then it started, now it's getting pretty competitive. I think they're getting real close to doing it in 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
So what does that look like? It's you and another buddy?
There's no rules except for started the Red Ball Garage, or to Red Ball Garage and go to Redondo Beach.
And that's it. How many people can be in the car?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter in the car. There's no rules.
But you have to be the driver. You have to be the driver.
Nope. You can be part of the driver. You can switch drivers. You can do all that shit.
Really?
Yeah. And so me and Dennis were actually on another rally. We were in Canada. I don't know Canada, whatever that side is. Is that Montreal on that side?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we were going to be racing to New York. We were on the Bull Run, and we were going to race all the way down to Key West. And this is a little bit of a kick-ass story. So while we're there, we get there to do the race. The Ferrari's all set up. We got tanks, got radar detectors, got every gadget you can imagine. And remember, this is 2007. One of our buddies at the bar, we get to talk about Cannonball Run, and he's like, it can't be broken. And me and Dennis are like, we think it can. We think we can break the record. He's like, well, I'll bet you 50 grand you can't. And I said, well, I'm not going to bet anybody 50 grand. I said, because odds are you're not going to make it. You're going to get caught. You're going to have a problem. And even a small problem, like a 25-minute ticket, sitting on the side of the road, you'll never make that time up.
Yeah.
And I said, so that'd be a dumb bet. He goes, well, how about this? Y'all do it, and I'll give you 50 grand if you break it, and you don't have to give me anything if you don't. And I said, okay, rich guy, we'll do that.
Yeah.
So we're on a rally. So the next morning, the rally's supposed to start. And, it's a 7-day rally all the way down the East Coast. We leave the rally and go to New York and set up at the starting point. And this is now a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. And I hired a limo company that I knew in New York City, because there's 3 ways off the island there in Manhattan. And I guess there's 3 main bridges.
Yeah.
And so I had limos at each one, looking for cops, looking for everything else. I had another set of limos staged out on all 3 of those routes, because my deal was we've got to get off the East Coast as fast as possible. No matter what, because if we don't get off fast, we'll never make the time up.
Yeah.
And so once we were ready to go, we radioed in. They said, you got to go this route. So we picked that route. And as we picked off limos, and we had like 7 of them staged out there, as we were picking them off, they were slowing traffic behind and keeping us abreast of what was going on behind us.
Oh,
and that was the only little trickery that we did. Other than that, we just ran hard. We were doing, if the weather or if the road was clear, we were averaging in the, 150, 160 all the time, all the time. if the road was clear, and there's a lot of empty clear roads out there when you start driving around.
Oh,
America.
I've driven across this country a bunch.
We went across Oklahoma on that toll road, or on 40, and I don't think we ever got below 150. I mean, we were just gone. There was nobody out. We just hauled ass. So we ended up finishing in 31 hours and 59 minutes, which beat the record by 30 or so minutes, I think it was. And we stopped the car physically 5 times for gas. We had 2 tanks. We had the regular tank and one in the trunk. And so that took up time. And the 5th time was I had already called my car and trailer driver to meet us in New York or in California in case we made it, because I wanted the car back across the other side to meet up with the rally. Because remember, it's a 7-day rally, Saturday to Saturday. It's only Monday morning now. And so he had gas, and we pulled over and splashed 5 gallons because we were literally going to miss the hotel by 4 or 5 miles. We had no gas.
Really?
And so we got lucky there, finished it. There was all kinds of newscasts there and everything because they knew we were coming in. We were keeping in track with the hotel and the PR firm and everything. And so it's all over the paper that we beat it. And the other guys are in the rally on the other side of the United States, right? So my team grabs the car with 3 guys in the truck, and they haul ass back across. Me and Dennis get loaded, get some sleep, get a private jet, and fly back across. And we're sitting in Savannah, Georgia now by, I guess it was Wednesday, with the car that's already traversed across the nation twice, waiting on the rally guys to come in and the guy that bet us the money. So they come in, and they're like, what? How did you do this, right? Yeah. And I hate to go this long, but it's such a bitchy story. Please. I need to write this. I need to write a book on this one week. So,
by the way, that you definitely have to.
Yeah. So then with all the commotion, everything else, you're still partying, picking up chicks, and doing whatever. If you're single, and disclaimer. But anyways, then we get on the rally. He goes, "What are you doing back here?" I says, "Shit, I'm still in the rally. I'm gonna whoop y'all all the way down to Key West." So we get to Miami, and the guy that bet us the 50 grand, he goes, "Hey," he goes, "We all know the next stop is Key West, and it's only one road, and there's a lot of cops and everything else." He goes, "How about this?" He goes, "I'll bet you double or nothing that we can get into Key West before any of these cars, and I'll let you cross the finish line first, and we will be first and second in that order." And I go, "Oh, okay, let's just check it out," because there really is. They were already warning us that there were cops in every single town. It's a 3-hour drive down there and all this. So they give us the card to go. There's a lunch stop in Marathon Key, I think is what they call it. And he goes, "You follow me no matter what." So we take off, and we're going north. And we're not going south. I'm like, "What is this dude doing?" I said, "Dude, are you sure?" He goes, "Just follow me or you lose." And I'm like, "Okay." So we come into this gated area, and they kick open the gate. It's like the scene from Con Air. It's Ukalaka Airport. And we come around the edge of this metal hangar, and he's got a DC-9 plane sitting there and a ground crew, and none of them speak English. And the captain, you couldn't have scripted this. He's the guy with half the cigar and the leather jacket all hanging open and the flappy hat. And he's like, "Andale, give this," and we put these things on these 2 like little pallets, and they're trying to squeeze them in the door with the forklift, and they have to turn. They push the 2 cars in there, and they were like, "Well, somebody has to go with the cars because they're going to have to need help loading them and unloading them and what have you." I said, "Well, and the only rule in those rallies is kind of gentleman's rule. You make the stop, because the stop is usually lunch or something stupid that you need to see. Yeah. And it's kind of like keeps the cars together and makes it more fun." So I go, "Jay," I said, so Dennis, my co-pilot and the other co-pilot Byron get on the plane. And I mean, this thing is leaking oil and smoking. I mean, this looks like a beat up, dilapidated freaking freighter, right? Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going on." One
of those old Eastern Airlines that flew into Cuba.
It literally was. I wasn't going to be surprised if they didn't fly to Cuba and just not bring us back our cars. Yeah. And so I asked JD, my buddy, I said, "Well, how are we going to make the lunch stop, dude?" And he goes, "That's what the helicopters are for." And there's 2 helicopters spooling up just past the plane. And I go, "Well, what do we need 2 for?" And he just pushes me down, just kicks me right in the chest, pushes me on the ground. He goes, "It's still a race." And he's like running, to his helicopter. And so we took the helicopters, landed in Marathon Key, got a car to take us to where the lunch stop was. And everybody's like, where's your car? Oh, fuck, we're out of gas. They went to go get gas and all this. And we're sitting there like when all the cars are leaving to go on down to Key West. And they're laughing at us because our boys aren't back with the car. They think they went to go get gas and shit. And we're just like, yeah, okay. As soon as they leave, we jump in something else and drive away and get back in the helicopters flying to Key West. Cars are on the ground. Everything's safe. We're the first ones there by like 26 minutes. And we're sitting there with the cars, with coolers of beer, and sitting there. And the first guy that comes around the corner, he knows he hasn't been beat. He's always been in the lead, right? He's happy as shit.
No one's passed him.
He's coming in first, right? And he turns the corner and just, and he looks at it. You can see him pounding his dash. He doesn't know what the hell happened. He gets out. Fuck you guys. You cheated. I said, there's no rules, man. Yeah. There's none. So we literally, in Canada, down New York, across to Redondo Beach, back to Savannah, down there, cars on airplanes, helicopter rides, and freaking whooped everybody's ass at the end.
God damn, you got to write a book. That's like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
It was freaking like that. Because meanwhile, the whole thing, all of those things are 7-day parties. The parties are legendary at night. So it was a lot.
What other races are like that? Because I know they have the gumball. Gumball's in Europe?
Gumball is based in Europe, but they're all over the world.
Really?
Yeah, Maximilian Cooper is a good friend of mine. He does that, and he's married to Eve, the rapper. And he owns that. He's done real well. They're on like their 23rd year, maybe. And then there's a whole bunch of littler ones. But the Gumball 3000 is the way that all the others are measured.
So how do you have to submit to be in the gumball? I know Johnny Knoxville did it one year.
You got to pay. I was on that one. You got to pay. And they usually keep the price pretty high to keep the riffraff out.
Yeah.
To get serious people in there. But, there's always bands. I mean, DJs, celebrities, all kinds of stuff.
Really?
It's a nutty thing. And the parties are really off the charts.
So how does it work? Everyone gets in their car.
Bring whatever you want.
And then you drive the first leg, and everyone's got to get to the thing, and then everyone.
Yeah, like you're going from Montreal to New York, and you're in some crazy party that night, and then you got to get out of the city and get to the next place. You don't know where you're going. You're going to start here and end here, but until that morning, do they give you the card and tell you the next city you're off to?
Shit,
it's pretty crazy. The best thing I ever saw though was this guy came over from London, and he had a tour bus. Kind of probably like one you toured, but he had it all done up. Said Amazing Frank. And, had it look like he was some kind of amazing talk show dude, whatever. Yeah. And he's doing this thing. And he had put out through a PR firm there in New York that he wanted, 5 to 10 girls that they needed to bring their luggage in case they got selected and all this kind of stuff. And they're going to get on the tour bus and they're going to ride with him and his film crew, and they're going to have all this fun and what have you. And then at the next city, he was going to like switch them out for other ones and keep ones that, whatever, and they're filming and all this. And so he picked these, 4 or 5 really good looking, maybe even 10 really good looking ladies, right? And he's doing this throughout town, and like everybody wanted to be on the bus, right? It's freaking kick ass. He was nobody, and there was no camera. There was no film in the cameras. It was total bullshit, so he could pick up chicks.
Oh my God.
You can't get away with that nowadays. But back then,
that would be
crazy.
A tough one to pull. Yeah, you get lit up on social media. God damn, I want to do the gumball. I am not a fan of dress shirts. I'm not a fan of shirts. Everyone knows that. But I dread wearing dress shirts and being on camera. I really, honestly, it's one of my big, like you go do morning radio in LA, you got to wear a dress shirt. I'll rip it off in the middle, but you got to show up in a dress shirt. Or you do late night talk shows, which like Conan, I guess he's gone, but you had to wear, I had to wear a dress shirt. I'd end up taking off. But I was not a fan of dress shirts until I found Mizzen and Main. I'm telling you, if you have not heard about Mizzen and Main right now, you need to know about them. That's why they've just cut it. You just take it up from, you got to check out Mizzen and Main, okay? The company was born when Mizzen and Main's founders saw a sweat-drenched DC staffer running into a meeting, wrinkled, stained, exhausted. His shirt needed a refresh. That's what drove Mizzen and Main to make the world's first performance fabric dress shirt. Fast forward 10 years, and now they make incredibly comfortable flannels, no-tuck shirts, which are my jam, performance polos, chinos, and so much more in that same performance fabric they became famous for. Basically, they make really comfortable men's clothing that you need to try to believe. Possibly the best part of their dress shirts is that they're made machine washable, which means no more expensive trips to the dry cleaners. And if somehow you still aren't a believer, they've got over 30,000 5-star reviews, so you know they make a great product. I'm telling you, This is my go-to dress shirt. I've never looked forward to wearing a dress shirt before, but I am finally looking forward to wearing a dress shirt. If you want the best damn dress shirts money can buy, check out Mizzen in Maine right now. If you go to mizzeninmaine.com and use the promo code Bertcast, you'll receive $25 off any regular price order of $130 or more. That's $25 off when you go to MIZZENANDMAIN.com and use our promo code Bertcast. The other day we went to the world's oldest open air market, and I watched all these people who make amazing things: t-shirts, handmade paper, rings. So many things were out there, and I thought, kind of stinks that you got to know where this open air market is in order to get these things. I wanted to tell everyone about Shopify. Shopify makes it simple to sell to anyone from anywhere. Listen to what I'm saying. If you are making things, whether your thing is vintage t-shirts or recipes for ghee, start selling with Shopify and join the platform, simplifying commerce for millions of your favorite businesses worldwide. With Shopify, you'll create an online store in your vibe, discover new customers, and grow the following that keeps them coming back. Shopify has all the sales channels sorted so your business keeps growing, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And thanks to 24/7 support and free libraries full of educational content, Shopify's got you every step of the way. Shopify makes selling simple so you can put yourself and your ideas out there. Whether your thing is making ebooks or earrings, Shopify makes your success possible. It's how every minute new sellers around the world make their first sale with Shopify, and you will too. When you're ready to launch your things into the spotlight, do it with Shopify, the commerce platform backing millions of businesses down the street and around the globe. Go on, try Shopify for free and start selling anywhere. This is possibility, powered by Shopify. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/Bertcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Bertcast to start selling online today. That's shopify.com/Bertcast. Me and Segura should do the gumball.
Oh, if y'all are going to do it, me and Dennis will do it.
I fucking love that.
It's hard, man.
I'm not going to drive. I'm just going to drink.
No, Max makes it hard, man.
Really?
Yeah, gumball is difficult. In a 7-day run, you might have even up to 3 days that are 1,000 miles. Because he'll make you a short day, get you some fun, get you into a big party, lasts all night long, some super well-known DJ, or like one day with Snoop Dogg, whatever, and you're up, you're partying, and the next thing you know, they hand you a card, and you got to go 1,000 miles.
Really?
So it's freaking,
holy shit.
It's brutal. It's pretty difficult.
That sounds fucking... but it sounds like fun as shit. Like I would love to.
It is. It's some of the best fun I had. I made a lot of good contacts. I've got a lot of really good friends that, lifelong type friends that I've made doing some of those things. And, nowadays it's a little frowned upon because people get silly and they'll go too fast and what have you. My group was always very careful. We'd go fast. There was no one around.
Yeah.
But we weren't cutting through streets and doing stupid stuff.
Yeah. What's the fastest you've ever been pulled over doing?
183.
What car were you in?
I was in the stupid donk thing I was talking about.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
And how when you get pulled over at 183, how does that conversation with the cop go?
He was a little heavy set and he was all flustered and just sweat beating down, and he was so pissed off, because we passed him and I saw him and I didn't need to pull over, but knowing what I know from being a cop, I said, I'll just pull over. So I pulled over. It took him a few minutes to get to us.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on the side of the road and he's like, what the hell's going on with y'all? And I go, well, sir, what do we need? And he goes, do you know how fast you were going? I said, no. He goes, what do you mean you don't know how fast you were going? I said, sir, it's a 76 Caprice. The speedometer only goes to 100. I'm pretty sure I was above that. He goes, you're doing 183 miles an hour. And I'm like, really? And I look at my co-pilot that's with me and we start dying laughing. We're like, holy shit, this car's fast.
Yeah.
And he goes, what are you guys laughing about? And I said, sir, to tell you the truth, I didn't think there's any way this car could go that fast. I said, it's pretty impressive. And it's a 4-door Caprice, man. And we finally calmed him down a little bit. And he goes, I'm not fucking with this. He goes, I'm just not. And so he let us go.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We talked to him about the car for a bit. He kept us on the side of the road for like an hour, but he ended up letting us go.
I feel like I want to get an old car. Like I want to get an old car. What car do I want?
To do a rally?
No. I'm gonna let Segura pick the car for the rally.
You want new?
Yeah. No, I feel like I want.
If I did a rally again, I'd do it in my Rolls Royce Wraith.
I just put that down on my birthday list for Tom. So Tom and I do birthday presents every year. We have to spend more money than the next guy. Right now we're at $100,000.
You're not going to get a Wraith for that.
It's $250, right?
Yeah.
And so I told
for a used one. New ones are $500 now.
Are you serious?
New ones are $450 now. Because I've had 4 of them. Every year and a half or so, I buy another one, and they've gone up and gone up and gone up, and they haven't changed the car at all.
Really?
They just keep jacking the price.
What is it about a Wraith that you like? Because I know it's T.I.'s favorite car. I know that like it's a hot fucking car.
Oh, it's so quiet, so elegant, so comfortable, and yet still really fast.
Really?
And it's heavy. You can feel that you're in this machine, and it's not loud. It's not obnoxious like a Ferrari or Lambo or anything like that. It's just like this feeling of going really fast and just floating, man. It's cool.
If we're gonna do the gumball, we should do it in a Wraith.
I would.
I hope he buys me a Wraith for my birthday.
Oh man, can I get in on this birthday thing?
Yeah, this birthday thing's got out of control.
It does. We had to sit down with my group of friends because we were doing something similar, and everybody was getting more and more. Yeah. And we finally we were sitting there and we were like, we got to just pull the cord here. We got to stop this.
We almost pulled it this year because I was like, how about we go back to like just a nice present, a nice present? Because I bought him a race car last year, and like with the fucking, so he's been racing. He's really into cars, but I just. He was like, "What do you want this year?" He's like, "Just so you know, I'm gonna really step up my game." And I was like, "Motherfucker!" And my list was, this was my list of what I wanted for my birthday: a ranch, a cabin, a sailboat, a Wraith, a motorcycle, a couple motorcycles, a gold bar, a private island, a tiger, a bed and breakfast, a Russian bride, a vineyard, an Italian villa, a bar, or a minor league baseball team. Those were my list for my birthday.
That's a pretty good list.
It's a really good list.
Now, me being, if I was the one on the receiving end of the list, I'd get you the tiger.
Be badass.
Yeah, but it shits and eats.
Yeah.
That's like giving you responsibility and liability at the same time.
Yeah. I'd get a white tiger. Tigers are fucking badass. If you turn your back on them, they can't help it. They attack you.
Yeah. It's in their nature.
It's in their nature.
Yeah.
So Wraith is my dream car, I think. I think that's my dream car.
They're great. You can get a nice used one with low miles. And again, they haven't changed in 5 years. They're the same freaking car. So you can get one in the 250 range for a nice used one.
See, I hated, I'm a dog guy. Like I like dogs. And I knew what kind of dogs I've always wanted. I knew the dog I wanted. I always wanted a bull mastiff, and I would.
Oh my god, that's a giant freaking crazy, just
I'm
slobbering.
On my third. We had 150 pounds, the best fucking dogs. But I did so much research. Part of the fun of getting a dog for me was having a family and doing the research on what kind of dog I wanted.
Yeah,
originally I wanted a Doggo Argentino. They're fucking gorgeous. Cool. They're a little more dominant, and around kids it wouldn't be totally safe. And so then I settled on Bull Mastiff. Was like, they're good around kids. They don't technically bite. They're more knock you down to the ground type dog, and they're real protective. And so I was like, that's the perfect dog. And I'm telling you, I hit it out of the park with that dog. We're on our third Bull Mastiff, and they're just fucking the
So you want to put this thing in the car next to you?
No. But so I'm on doing a TV show, and my lease is up, and I never could pick a car. I never wanted a car. I never could go, you know what I want? I was always like, what do I get? And I'd talk to Skur, and he'd be like, check out the BMW's got the 5 Series. If you're just looking for like a sedan, 5 Series is a great car.
They're great cars.
So I got a 5 Series, and I loved it. I loved that car. And then I was like, God damn it. Then that lease goes up, and I was like, I don't know what to get. And Skur's got a car guy, and he's like, these are the options that you should look at. So I got a Mercedes, like whatever, the bigger one, and I like it. And then when I was doing the show the last time, this same TV show, I was like, I'm gonna get into looking into cars. I'm gonna take the same focus and get into looking at cars. And I was like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to buy a used car and I'm going to drive it across country to my show in Colorado. I was doing Red Rocks at the time. And so I started looking at cars and they were like, that's not the best. Don't take an old car. Rogan was one that called me. He was like, you're a fucking idiot. Don't buy an old car and try to drive it to Colorado. But now it's fun because I discovered the Wraith and I was like, when you said it, I went, all right, that's the car.
That's the car.
And now what old car would you get? I was thinking the Grand Wagoneer was a cool looking car, the old ones.
Yeah, if you get it all redone and everything.
And that's what you need to do. You need to get it redone and up to
snuff. But the Grand Wagoneers are really good touring cars. And there's a guy here in Texas that does a really good job with. That's all he does is rebuild those cars.
Really?
And they're real nice. But old car, you just got to be ready for the adventure. It doesn't really matter what you pick. You just got to be ready for the adventure because may make it with no problems, or you may be cruising past West Texas and your AC go out. It could suck.
Yeah.
So it really is just you got to be mindset for I'm doing it because of the adventure and whatever the hell happens.
Yeah, I've always wanted a big '72 Cadillac, like the Eldorado, the big. That was like my dream car.
Those cars could make the trip easy. We did it. We did the Disney World trip. I swear to God,
What's the Disney World trip?
The movie with Chevy Chase, Vacation.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they stole that from my childhood. We got piled in the car with the new Cadillac and
your family?
And my mom and dad in the front. And we had to stop at all the wigwams and the biggest ball of yarn, and we're going to Disneyland. I mean, and all the shit that happened in that movie was pretty much what happened on the trip when I was a kid. Just everything went fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And so when the movie came out, I was like, wait a second. I lived that,
Yeah. That was.
So you got to be ready for the adventure of it, and sometimes when you break down, it's cool. You end up being somewhere that you didn't even know existed and partying and having a good time. And who cares?
Well, that was the fun of those old school road trips when we take them in college. I remember one time a bar burnt down and my buddies were like, we should go to see if they left the liquor in there. And
excellent choice.
And so we went in. And the liquor was all still there. And we just grabbed all the bottles, all the covers were burned off. And we grabbed the bottles and we threw them in the back of my Jetta. And we were like, let's just fucking have a fear and loathing road trip. We just start driving. Just someone goes, take a right. See where it takes us.
Yeah.
And we ended up in West Virginia and had it was like the funnest. It was the funnest time until you're like, all right, we got to go back to school. Let's drive home.
Yeah, the drive home always sucks.
But it was the funnest fucking road trip. I haven't done a road trip. I mean, I take that back. I live on a fucking tour bus.
Yeah, but that's not road tripping.
It's not road tripping.
That's just tripping on the road.
Yeah. What motorcycles do you have?
I recently just cleared out a few. So right now I only have a few choppers just as decoration around the shop and stuff like that. And then I've got a chopper that I've owned for 26 years. And that's my main bike.
Really?
And I had some street glides and things like that, and Dallas streets are too shitty, so I just was like, I don't need them, just sell them.
That's crazy. Yeah, we took a motorcycle through the national forest in Alabama. Was it Alabama?
Is that the Tail of the Dragon thing?
Talladega. It was the Talladega National Forest.
There you go.
And we took motorcycles through there, Indians. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. I came to motorcycles very late in life, but the when you're with a group of people and you're all driving somewhere, it's such a cool fucking. Yeah. It's such a cool.
I used to go to Aspen every year from on 4th of July week because it's beautiful up
there. From Texas,
and we would drive. Like 20, 30 of us would haul ass up there and hang out for the week and what have you.
Holy shit!
It was always a good trip. I just got back from Sturgis a couple weeks ago, and I had to go up there for an appearance and do all that kind of stuff.
Is Sturgis more like work for you now? I went to Sturgis one year.
Yeah, I mean, I usually don't go up there unless I'm getting paid to go do something.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. I'm thinking about opening a Gas Monkey Bar and Grill up there during those weeks during the month of August.
You'd murder it.
Well, we got 3 being built right now.
Yeah, tell me about, because this is the part of you that probably fascinates me the most, is your entrepreneurial, like what was the process of opening Gas Monkey Bar and Grill?
It was on the original business plan I wrote back in 2003. And it was, build the shop, get the right team, build cars, get the street cred, go around the nation. It's no different than probably comedy. You got to put in the time, and then, get the right deal, get a show on there. And then from there, now we're big business. Let's get the brand going and at Walmart, Target, and what have you. And then let's get, bar and restaurants opened up. Let's get tequila. Let's get energy drink. We jumped into that. And write a book, now, so we're just keeping on executing it. And COVID gave me an opportunity to get away from my partner in the restaurant. So I shut that one down, and we're building a new one right now.
Really?
43,000 square feet.
Holy shit.
Amphitheater out, green space. It'd be somewhere like you would probably even come in and perform.
Oh, wow.
It's big space. And it's from the ground up. It's going to be wicked. It's right
building it right now?
Yeah.
Where, in Dallas?
Yeah, it's in Dallas at 635 in Luna Road area. Now it's part of a big development. So on the other end of the development, just so that we're not closed too long, because it's going to take another year to build what we're building.
Yeah.
We're opening a thing called Gas Monkey's Primo Cantina. And so it's a Tex-Mex kitchen that we're going to put in on the other end of the development. And then once we open the big one, we'll move down there. So we'll be opening with that probably next month. And then we've got another one going in Louisville, which is a suburb up here north of Dallas. And another one going out at Lake Ray Roberts on the water. I'm doing an Aqua Monkey that is going to have 100 boat slips and live music right there on the lake. You'll be able to come out, jam, you'll on the water, off the water, whatever you want to do. It's going to be pretty cool. And then we're moving to Orlando and Vegas, and sky's the limit. Who knows there?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you ever get nervous?
I used to, but not really. We know it works. We've got two generations of people, last 20 years that have grown up watching us. They're vested, and we're a fun brand. We're always, and the other thing is we always show people what we're doing. And, they freak out. Like, God dang, he's going to go try to open in Vegas. Who's he? And we tell the story. And, I don't mind if we fail. It's, I want people to see the work and the trial and the effort. The first time we lost money on a car that was in the show, Discovery, people are running around with their hair on fire. They didn't know what to do. They're like, you lost money? And I'm like, well, yeah. And they're like, well, that's the main car in the show. We don't have an episode anymore. And I said, show it to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can't do that. And I said, not everything works.
Yeah.
I said, if I go 2 or 3, 4 years, and I'm always making money on the car show, it's going to be boring. I said, I lost money. I lost my ass. Show it to them.
Now, by the way, now that's our business model. The majority of the shows over at Discovery are not, but all the home shows are flip or flop. And so they're like, and now we're upside down on the house,
Yeah, it's a recipe, and I don't know, maybe I invented that recipe, but they did not want to show it.
Really?
And I had to tell them, I said, they wanted me to go fake like a different sale price for it. And I was like, I will not fake it. And that's another thing. They wanted to make the shows faster, so they wanted to bring in a crew at night. And I was like, myself and none of my crew will stand in front of something that we didn't build and take credit for.
They wanted to bring in
like a night crew so they can make the show faster. Now we're double timing. And me and my crew sat down in front of them and said, we will not stand in front of something and take credit for building if we didn't build it. And so you're fighting a lost battle there.
Jesus.
And there's a lot of shows, especially car, that do that. A lot.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They have the night crew come in, and they got the guys, the Richards of the show and the mechanic of the show that come in and flap their gums a little bit. They're gone. The car gets built somewhere else.
That's crazy.
It sucks. I could never do it.
What shows were there shows that, having made the show? Because I know I would get livid when I would watch shows because I was like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Like no shade on Bar Rescue, but like just knowing production the way I did, whenever they had the secret shoppers come in and be like, we're sitting at the bar, where's the bartender? I would go, how come I can hear them? They have a mic on. Someone put a mic on them.
Exactly.
Like I know, and I was like, I can't sit and watch a show because one of the big things, like I used to want to be able to, when I'd meet someone, meet them authentically and be like, hey, it's Bert, nice to meet you.
Yep.
And have a conversation. And they'd be like, we don't have a mic on them. And I was like,
I used to hate that too, because I'd pull up to buy the car.
And they got
to go up there and wire them up. And then I'm supposed to knock on the door. And I'm like, why don't you guys just show that? Why don't you just show them coming out?
Yeah.
Get them on a little bit of a boom and say, hey, we got to mic you up so it sounds good, and then walk on into the barn.
We started doing that. We started going, just air it on a boom. If the audio is a little shitty, I don't think people will pick it up.
They don't.
Let us get that moment, then throw a mic on them, and then let's get the meat of the thing you need.
Yeah.
But that authentic meat is so important sometimes that I used to have a hard time.
That's why I like what we do on YouTube. It's much better.
Yeah.
We just wing it, and it's real time, and it's real emotion, and it's real what's happening, so to speak. So that's why we like it there better.
What shows could you watch that were car shows where you were like, okay, I can still be a fan of that? I'll be very clear. I could always watch Man vs. Food. I loved Adam Richman.
Oh yeah,
I loved
that show.
I loved Bourdain. I loved Zim. Those old school guys. I always loved those guys, and I could watch all their shit. I can still watch Guy Fieri. Guys Grocery Games I love. I could watch them and appreciate them because I could see the expertise in what they did. Like I love that guy. I love the guy's just an authentic talent.
He is. I mean, he's the Richard of food,
Yeah.
I mean, he really is good. And I actually texted him the other day. I told him, I said, dude, you do that ultimate game night thing that he's doing right now, the food party game night thing. I said, I want to be on that. I said, that looks like a lot of fun. And it'd be cool to be on a show like that and not be the host, and not have to do the work.
I did Guys Grocery Games and I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, because I ride or die for Guy. I've always liked Guy.
Yeah.
And I've known him because of Travel Channel. I've known we'd all do upfronts together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did Guys Grocery Games and it was like fucking awesome. I didn't.
See, I'd love to do all that stuff. And I texted him knowing that I can't. I mean, Disco's not going to play with me again ever.
Well, maybe. I don't, I think it's probably all
they said that about Jesse too. So how many times they keep bringing him back? He's risen more than the Lord.
He has. Well, he was that first, he was the first build show, I think, that you saw that you were like, I was like, I have no interest in fucking motorcycles, but I can't stop watching this fucking thing.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, and he's calmed down a lot in his older age, and what have you. So he's a hootie. I need to go down there and see him one of these days, but I just hadn't made it.
He's like the OG. What shows could you still watch when you were on the air where you were like, they're doing it good? There were car shows. Were there any?
I didn't really watch. I'm not answering it as an asshole saying, no, only my show. I don't watch them. Yeah. Because I'll pick them apart. And that just gets me all my anxiety going up and everything else.
I can't watch shows now. I can't watch shows now.
Yeah, I mean, like you trying to watch a comedy show, you'd be like,
don't get me started. If I
missed the beat. You missed the hook.
I watch everyone's special. We were talking about Shane Gillis the other night, and last night, Shane's one of the best. And they were like, oh, you know what I like about Shane? And they were like, he does this. And I was like, hold on. I go, you don't think that I haven't been picking apart what he does on stage? Like, I watch him from the first time I saw him, I watch on a next level because I'm like, I'm fascinated by the little nuance.
Same here.
And when it comes to specials, I get obsessive because there's so many ways to do it wrong. And there's only a couple ways to do it right.
Comedy's hard. A lot of people out there don't understand how hard it is. I actually had ambitions one time of being a stand-up comic.
For real?
Yeah. I just never got around to it.
There were great clubs out here, too.
Yeah.
Hyenas, Addison Improv. There's a bunch of great clubs
There's a bunch of clubs here. My son's actually trying.
Really?
He's done some open mic nights and stuff and what have you. He told me he doesn't want me to go yet. He wants me to wait until he gets a little better.
My dad's still never seen me perform.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, no, the last time I was in Tampa, he and my mom sat backstage and they listened, but he can't go out and watch it from the show.
No kidding.
Yeah. And then tonight I'm at Dickey's and
yeah. I used to be the spokesman for Dickey's. I had a big endorsement deal with those guys for a few years.
Really?
Yeah, because they were located right here in Fort Worth. Yeah. That's where they started in the 1800s.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And they were family owned until just a couple of years ago. All the way through to that. And then the family finally sold out to a big conglomerate of some sort and what have you. But, Dickey's is really big rooted here in Fort Worth. It's a little different arena than you go to some arena and they just got AT&T on or whatever. Yeah. Dickey's is Fort Worth, has been Fort Worth for, well over 100 years. And, so that's pretty cool. Fort Worth's got some really good style to it and attitude and, Tex-Mex barbecue and Dickey's and all that goes together.
Do you think that's an interesting, it's an interesting thing. You say that, and I go. It kind of gives the brand a little more worth when you go, since what year? Since holy shit, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Do you think Tesla is going to have that lasting power?
I don't know, man. There's so much going on in that world that I just can't even understand it.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you have a Tesla?
No, I've never had one. I've never even driven one.
Rogan's got one. I mean, I hate to put words in his mouth, but he's like, it's one of the fucking funnest cars in the world.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's just all that technology. I'm kind of anti-technology. I mean,
Yeah.
I can barely check my email, scan through Instagram, check, that's about it. I'm not what this, I should be way smarter because this thing will do anything you want it to do.
Yeah.
But I look at it for recipes and that's about it,
I wonder if
maybe I should do that. Guy's at the top of his game, and Jesse and Orange County were at the top of their game. Maybe I made the move to food. Try to start something new.
I have a cooking show.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to be on it.
Open invite. I would love to have you out. We'll fly out to LA, put you up. Come on. Who do you want to do it with?
What's the show? What's the premise?
It's called Something's Burning. I'm a kind of a cook, and we just get fucked up and I make a recipe.
Oh, I'm in.
It's a lot of fun.
Dude, I'll do it because I cook a lot. I'm a big foodie.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm working on right now, another show premise is where food and automotive motorcycle cultures meet. Where those two, anywhere you go, like a really good example is Dallas and Houston. The kind of trucks they build in Houston, big trucks with the lights underneath them and all that, we'd throw rocks out here in Dallas. And the same thing with trucks we build here in Dallas. And then they think they have the best Tex-Mex and the best barbecue. And, we think we do. And so, whether you're at a truck event or a lowrider event or a donk event, there's always food around. And it's usually the kind of food that's unique to that culture and also that area. So I think it'd be cool to do a show where those cultures meet. You've
already sold me. I'm fascinated in, like, it would be cool then to go to like Southern California, see the low riding culture with the authentic Mexican street tacos.
Exactly.
That would be, I'd be really interested
but
in that.
You could also, who does low riders better than anyone in the world? Japan, Tokyo.
Really?
Oh, unbelievable what they're pulling off down there. So you literally go to a lowrider show in Tokyo,
that would be fucking awesome.
They are running circles around what we do in Southern California.
And the donks in South Florida.
Same thing. They have the whole hog barbecues and they're getting all crazy.
That's a fucking great idea.
It's a great idea.
Well, what's great about now is that you can just do it.
Yeah.
You can just make it.
Well, you're the food dude and I'm the,
Hey,
let's go.
Let's get in a donk and go down to fucking Little Haiti.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah, I would be fucking really into that.
It would be a lot of fun. So we've got a few concepts we're working on. That's one of them. And the other one that we've been tossing around is a thing called car court, because I used to be a policeman,
Yeah.
So imagine me as the judge and all these small claims. I mean, any city in the world has thousands of small claims. Guy cheated on his girlfriend and she scratched his car and spray painted it, or there was a fender bender wreck, or all this kind of stuff. And you get them in there, and it's more lax, and you with the telephone devices and the street cams and everything, you really get out and see what happened. And I think it'd be fun to be a car court dude. Plus, I'd love some of that Judge Judy money. That lady makes some cash.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was my plan, is just find one show and just sit on it for the rest of your life. Everyone always goes, what's your big white whale? I was like, oh, multicam sitcom. I live in LA. I have a motorcycle. I shoot over at CBS Radford. I have a 10-minute drive on a motorcycle every morning before everyone's there, right? Rehearsals on Monday, script notes on Tuesday, shoot on Friday, head out, do the Saturday, Sunday on the road, come back on a private jet Monday. I would love it. Give me a sitcom that shoots for 10 years. I don't even need it to be, what was the sitcom I told that guy? I was like, I'd do that. I was telling someone I would just do, I don't give a fuck. I would love the creative outlet to take my jokes and put them into a sitcom. Problem is I need the creative outlet. And the problem is I'm not getting it at CBS Radford. I'm not going to get it at CBS. I'm not going to get it at ABC. I'm not going to get it at NBC. And so then you start going, well, I'm going to do it for a streamer. Now it's got to be single cam. It's like all the compromises when you talk about the Hollywood machine, all the compromises that happen. And then you just go, And then I just tell my agents, I go, I'm just going to make it. I have the money. I'll just make it.
See, I'm happily unemployed right now. Make a few stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, I get paid to drink beer and play with cars. That's great.
You got the fucking life. Well, dude, thank you for doing this with me. I can't thank you enough. This has been a treat. When I saw you on Rogan, I was like, it was really fun to see the guy that I've seen on TV kind of cut loose and be like know that you're a regular dude.
Yeah, the first time we did it, we got hammered. He called me up the next day. He goes, dude, I haven't been that hammered in decades.
We're about to do Sober October. Are you guys?
What?
Me,
what does that mean?
Me, Rogan, and Tom Segura, and then this guy, Ari Shafir. We do, we don't do drink or do drugs for all of October. And then we have workout challenge. So by the way, I think we're making it so everyone can join in. That's why we wanted to do it this way, because normally what we do is a competition where it's like, who can burn the most calories in a month? And I mean, that almost killed us.
I don't know if I do without my Miller Lights, man. That would be so, I mean, if I quit drinking Miller Lite for like 3 days, I'm down 6 pounds.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I mean, I look like a different person. I just carry so much water weight because I'm always drinking beer, you know?
If I stop drinking for 3 days, you see it in my face immediately. Like my face deflates.
Yeah.
And then if I stop drinking for a month, all of a sudden I have a really hard time starting drinking again.
I haven't quit drinking for longer than maybe a week in 2 decades.
Oh, I did. When the pandemic hit, I did 3 months. I did 3 months because I was at home and I was like, well, I'm not going to. And then the first drink I had a live event. It was a live streaming event. And I drank on that. And then the second I was like, I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, give me some information on that. I might sign up for that. I'll probably fail.
No, you won't. You'll be shocked. You're going to end up loving it. And by the end of October, you're going to be like, oh man, we got to do this every year.
Oh no. October 31st at 12:01.
That's what happens to us on Halloween night. We're like texting each other. Wait, what time? What coast are we going?
Yeah, can we go East Coast?
Can we do East Coast? Are you coming to the show tonight?
I can't. I got a previous engagement with a big charity foundation. You know, one of these black tie BS things that I don't really like to go to, but I have to. So,
well, please let anyone at your garage know that if they want to come out and see the show, we can comp the tickets. I know we're sold out, but it's an arena, so there's always room.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think a few of my guys might try to come out for sure, and I wish I could, but I was already roped into the Cattle Barons Ball at South Fork Ranch.
Oh, that sounds fucking fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
You gonna wear a cowboy hat?
Oh, I'm wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy shirt. I'm gonna look like the rifleman.
Fuck yeah. Well, dude, let's exchange numbers. Keep in touch.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna hit you up about Something's Burning. I'd love to have you on an episode of it. That would be fucking great. And thank you for doing this, man. Thank you very much. Man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Right on. Woo, I gotta pee.